Be nice if I join the meeting. Okay. Let me just ensure we're on YouTube. Yes, we are ready to go, Chair Griffin.
Good afternoon. Chair Aaron Griffin, and I would like to welcome you to the January 10th, 2022 African American Heritage Commission virtual meeting. We will now call our meeting to order. The City County African American Heritage Commission consists of 9 members. 3 of those members are appointed by the Asheville City Council, 3 appointed by the Buncombe County Board of Commissioners, and 3 appointed by 6 appointed members. The commission is to advise the city council and county commissioners about the preservation, interpretation, and promotion of African American arts, history, and culture. All committee members and staff are participating virtually. We appreciate your patience as we work through committee meetings a bit differently. We are streaming live on our virtual engagement hub, which is accessible through the virtual engagement hub link on the front page of the city website and also linked on the committee page. We also have an option for the public to listen live by phone by dialing 855-925-2801 and entering meeting code 9409. For those of you who plan to speak during our live public comment today, you will need to hit *3 to be put in the speaker queue. For those of you out there with us today, welcome. I will now go through and introduce all committee members and staff who are participating virtually. Beverly Miller, Vice Chair Beverly Miller, excuse me.
Present.
Brenda Mills. Sandra Stephen Blunt. Michael Hayes.
Thank you, President.
Councilwoman Sandra Kilgore.
Present.
And Brenda Mills, Interim Equity and Inclusion Director, City of Asheville.
I'm here and I'm the permanent director. I'm here.
Permanent.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
to see everybody.
Put your stamp on it. All right.
All righty. And we just had the county join us, Zakia.
Okay. County is here. Let's see. Leonard Jones.
Zakia Bell Rogers.
Oh, Zakia Bell Rogers. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Okay. To help our audience follow along, I'll state each section of the agenda aloud. Again, I ask committee members to click raise hand and be recognized to speak. Please state your name each time you comment. Just a reminder that the public is listening on the phone, and this keeps them up to date on the order of the meeting and who is commenting or speaking. Okay, so approval of minutes for November the 10th, 2021.
Chair Griffin, you're going to have to hold off for a few minutes.
Hold off.
You have one more person come. You just have 4 members. One more will be a quorum.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank
Let's
you.
move on to the other items.
So any updates or reports? None at this time.
We're going to do staff updates.
Staff updates. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do staff updates.
Okay, well, I'll go for the city. We are, I'm excited to tell you guys that we are fully staffed at the Office of Equity and Inclusion. Our last staff person will be on board the week of February 7th. That's our analyst. Very excited about having all 3 staff members. The other 2 are already at it, doing outreach and working with training. So we are very, very excited to have full staff. Reparations, very excited. We're on the last stretch folks. January 15th is when the applications are due uh, for our neighborhoods and for our impact focus areas. Um, it was very interesting. We only had four applications, about four to six applications just before Christmas. We are now up to almost 40 applications. I want to thank the community publicly for their work in getting out and really participating in this process. As you know, we have neighborhoods, seven neighborhoods that will make up the 15 members of the Community Reparations Commission, and then there will be 10 members through the impact focus areas, which is criminal justice, housing, health and wellness, education, and economic development. And we have a plethora, a wonderful mix of our community and the full community of impact focus area experts that are signing on for this work. So we hope to give you a good report when we come in next month. And then I am thinking about a Wednesday to change your meeting date. Wondered if we could have just a little bit of discussion around that. I think you were okay with changing the day. We'll leave the time the same. Does anyone have that's on the line now have any concerns with if we move to a Wednesday at 4:30? And I'm thinking it'll be the second Wednesday at 4:30. But I just wanted to check with everyone.
Yeah, that wouldn't work for me.
Okay. So
Me either.
no, you either. Okay. Any Wednesday or no Wednesday?
No Wednesdays for me.
No
Okay.
Wednesdays.
No Wednesdays. I got you. So I try to stay away from Tuesdays because there's city council and board of commission meetings. What about a Monday or Monday? That's it. We don't have any other days, do we?
Monday won't. Monday
Okay.
won't work for me.
So I guess we're gonna have to stay with Thursdays. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. I was hoping that we could change it, and I don't want to change the time because I know that kind of hits at people's work stuff as well. I know you've met during the day at times, but I think that affects people's work time, not staff, but mostly those who work during the day. So if that's, we'll just leave it. So that's it for me. Thank you. And Ms. Takia, I think you're up with updates for the county.
Give me a second. Let me look at Leonard's notes because he asked me to come on.
Okay. And Griffin, if you would, may I ask who's on line 60, ending with 62? Who's on the meeting? Are you a board member? Because I'm not seeing anybody. Okay. All right. All righty. Zakia, would you like us to come back to you?
Yes, please.
Okay. That'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't. I'm scrolling through my email to see what he sent me, if he sent me.
Okay. All right, Chair Griffin. We don't have any unfinished business, so we could move into discussion about the annual report. And I'm going to share my screen so we can have just a little bit of discussion around that. As I said, I'm still trying to find all of your information. And so I have a few notes, but I do want to check in with you all about, your goals for last year. I found this information here. I don't know what year that was done. I'm thinking it says 219, but I don't think this is relevant. So I figured this is what I wrote for some of the accomplishments. I know you talked about street renaming last year, the remembrance projects. There were some references to school board meetings. I don't know what those were concerning because I think some of you were here last year, I'm hoping. And then the Vance Monument, how your involvement was with that. Um, Community engagement was involved in the street renaming. So I'll take that off. And then I think you were just awaiting reparations. right? There was nothing you were doing with that, correct?
That's right.
Okay. So are there other, what were the school board meetings about? Does anybody remember?
If I'm not mistaken, it was about representation.
Okay. So representation. I'll look for
Representation.
that.
How historic, how we shown up, and how can we have a how can we influence those to be more present. I think that was part of the conversation.
Present at the schools or school board meetings.
School board meetings at the schools, the whole nine, so that our children can can not only see us, but we start representing the so that we start actually voicing what's best for our children. How do we influence that? How do we make that happen in the community? I know that was part of the conversation. I know I'm missing some of it, but I know that that was a part of that. I'm sorry, and this was member Michael Hayes speaking.
You're good. I really appreciate that. I think I read a little bit about that, but I just didn't know where you came out. Um, you you all were involved. Were you all involved in some of the work with the Vance Monument? Was it just updates to your board, or were you involved specifically? You know.
It was just basically Chair Aaron Griffin speaking. It was basically just updates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Received update. Um, Now I wrote your mission statement. I will get a summary statement up here for you all. And I will note in the summary statement that of course you all did not start back meeting until March of last year. So you didn't meet you met some of 2020, and then for 2021 you didn't start until March. And then of course we changed staff. So I'll make a note of some of that. Were there any policy recommendations that came out of anything that you guys discussed at this time? It's optional. You don't have to have any. We can do some at a later date. You always are open to provide policy recommendations to the city council at any time during the year. But I just didn't know if any in specific. I did not find any, but I just wanted to make sure I asked.
No, no policy.
Okay, and I'm gonna finish reviewing some notes. And if I find anything, what I'm gonna do with the report is I'll finish it up. I'll send it out to you all, blind carbon copy. You can add anything, subtract anything. We have until January 30th when it's due. And then unless there's any kind of changes, I'm gonna forward it on and copy all of you. Okay? And so uh I'm assuming there was no budgetary impacts that you were considering. You do have the funding, and I'll note that you have the funding of $9,500 in the city's coffers for the art project, and I've mentioned some of that in your upcoming goals, but I didn't know if there was any funding that you had specifically requested of the city. But if there's none, we're just gonna make a note of that. Um, And I'll make a note about the funding.
This is Michael Hayes speaking.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
I know at one time we asked for. This is when I first started. I think I
Okay.
was asking of like I don't know if it was 10,000 for the art project, and
You
then
have that. You
got
have that. Now this is for this. So you have 9,500 of that left. The county money that you received in that was matching. Leonard reported to you all that that was used for the markers that was done with the neighborhoods. So
right.
that's already been spent. But you do have $9,500 left. And we're going to be working with Steph Munson Dahl, who is in the planning department, to talk about what you would like to do with that. She's going to be coming in a future meeting. Specifically, hopefully, I'm hoping that she will be at the retreat to talk with you a little bit about what you would like to do. So I have got in here for future goals, retreat planning for spring of this year, connecting with local historic resources. You all talked about hearing from those folks on a regular basis, and possible collaboration with Dina Bailey. I could not remember the project that she was talking about, but I'll have that in there when I send it back to you. And then working with, this is in regards to Steph Munson-Dahl, who works in planning and urban design, working with Pack Square from Advanced Monument Area Visioning, led by the Urban Design and Place Strategies for Planning and Urban Design. This division is also a liaison to Public Art and Culture Commission. So they would like your participation in thinking about revisioning for that area up there once everything is settled through the court. Was there anything else I did not consider or that you would like considered? Now, this is moving forward. All the other stuff was from before, but is there anything else that we would like for them to consider moving forward? There's a lot.
Yeah.
Just to do a retreat, you're going to have a lot of work stuff out of your retreat. I'm looking for the document for your retreat planning that you did prior to this, because we want to spearhead off of that.
I have it.
You do.
Yes.
So if you will send that to me, I cannot find it. So, and I'm sure it's in the notes. It just have not been able to go through all the former staff's information. So if you could send that, that would be a good starting point for us.
Um, so some of the goals that was set, um, like increasing social, political, and economic value.
Hmm.
Is that still?
That was this
It's
paper
never ending.
here. That was this. Talked about, establish the African American Heritage Commission as a community forum where information impacts. Would you like to include those goals in there as well? Um,
Yes.
Contribute to the investment in artifacts around and at the Vance Monument. I can put all of these. I'm thinking that we could put these in up under your mission statement, or would you like? Yeah, I, I think it would go under this mission statement area. I'd be glad to add that there because that's where it is. That's where it is currently. This was like part of a work plan that you all did, and I can add that there. And then when I send it back out, you can just kind of look through it, see if you want to morph anything. Um, but yeah, I think these speak to what you've been talking about. Prioritize and advocate for funding for African American communities to support an environment where African Americans feel about Asheville Buncombe County like tourists feel about Asheville Buncombe County. So these are some of the things that you had talked about, which I think are still relevant. Increase your visibility through community engagement. If there's other things, you can let me know. Anybody have anything else for the good of the group? Or um, I'm going to send this to you. If we can find that work plan, I think I think this is the work plan going forward, but I'll double check. If it is not, I will include that work plan with your report. I'll send this back out to you over the weekend once I check in with the clerk's office. And then if you'll take a look at it, that'll give you maybe a week, a couple of weeks to kind of look at it and give me some feedback. And then I'll send the final document for everybody to look at. And if you don't have any questions about it, I'll move it on. That sound good?
Sounds good. Are the I know one time we talked about the Facebook presence, and we also talked about a calendar. And in previous, you know,
I gotcha.
s-
Facebook isn't allowed for individual groups within the
Facebook
city.
is okay.
Um, Typically, what you would do is everything has to be on your page um, where your board and commission stuff is. So we'd have to put it there. We don't have separate pages on Facebook. The only department that does something separate departments is
APD.
fire rescue, APD, and parks. That's it. And that's not even boards. That's just city departments.
Well, um,
I mean, I can ask, but that's been not been
yeah,
allowed in the
yeah,
past.
because we talking about if we're gonna we're gonna make a present. We got to use all the tools that we,
Okay.
that's before us.
And we can talk about other ways to do that,
Yep.
because we have our communication and public engagement staff. I can have them come and we can talk about, all the options that would be helpful for you. I just want to follow city policy, right,
Okay.
for right
What
now.
about the calendar?
Oh, a calendar will be great, and we can put that on your webpage, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, and then figure out a way to get it out, to the general populace. You talking about a calendar of things that you're going to be doing, like events?
Yeah, our events or what's happening in the community, just to inform people of what's going on. Yeah.
Want to add those, okay? I think those are important. We don't want to forget those. So I think that's great. And then we'll look into what is allowable and what we'll get creative. How about that? Um, Anybody else?
Um, can I? It's Chair Aaron Griffin speaking.
Yes, sir.
With uh, the school board meeting, I think some of the discussion was about promoting infusion of African American history
Okay,
into the curriculum of public schools.
that sounds great.
Yeah.
Good deal. Thank you for adding that. That's great. That sounds good. Anybody else? Um, and like I said, this is not the end. I want you to. I'm going to try to pretty it up, add a few more facts to kind of put a few more details in it. I'll send it out blind carbon copy because I don't want people voting. We just want to give feedback, and then I'll send it out again, for final approval. Hi, Z.
Hello. I now have the information that Leonard had.
Okay. Well, when we finish this,
Yeah.
we'll be glad to get you.
No, I just
Perfect.
wanted to let you know I finally found it.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if the board has nothing else, the plan is to finish this up, get it back out to you within the next, I would say, 3 to 5 days. You have until maybe the 20th or 25th to give me any updates or whatever. I'll send the final document to you. If everybody's cool, we will get it on to the city clerk's office. Does that work for everyone? I can't see, well, I sort of can see your faces, but if nothing else, we're gonna move
Works.
on. Okay, okay. All righty, no problem. Thank you so much for this time. It was good. We're gonna get our office caught up on what you're doing, and so between us and the community engagement department over at the county, we'll get you. I appreciate your flexibility because I've never been promoted to a department of one, and so while it's been a wonderful journey, it's been a lot, and so I appreciate your patience and your flexibility. So with that, Ms. Z, you have a report.
Let me unmute. Um, what Leonard has is that Max made a few changes to the maps, to the historical maps. Hopefully, we will meet one more time this month and send the final maps to each neighborhood. And these are the black, and they want to be out for Black History Month. And also, the soil has been delivered to special collections. And we're working in conjunction with EJI regarding presenting the soil collections in Buncombe County Special Collections. Estimated that exhibit will already will be ready and on display by the spring collection. And this and there will be a trip to Alabama this summer, Birmingham, Alabama. That is.
That's the current trip being announced on WRES with the MLK Association and others. I
I
know
think
I've
so.
heard.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I've heard that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Which, if you have not gone to Birmingham, Alabama to see it, you need to go. It is amazing. I took my daughter when she was 3, and she still talks about it.
That's awesome. So we'll get more information on that. If I'll talk with Joseph Fox and some others and see if we can get more information. I know there's a cost to it, so we just need to get that out to the community. All righty. All right. So, Chair, we are looking at vacancies. And what I wanted to say about those is that Dwayne Barton, and I'm sorry I didn't finish telling you, Lynn just emailed us this week, Lynn Smith, about resigning. She has some other things she'd like to explore. And then Dwayne Barton emailed us December 16th. I want to give a big kudos and just heartfelt thanks to them for all the work that they have done. Lynn led you as a chair for a number of years on this board, and Dwayne wrote a really nice note to council about still staying in the game. He and Lynn both. So just want to give some kudos. These have been advertised. I think they've been advertised this month. So I'll let you know when the clerk's office will let you know, Chair Griffin, when we have some applications to replace these persons. Dwayne is by for the county, for the city, and Lynn Smith, the county will be advertising her absence and replace her.
Very good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the next thing on your agenda is retreat planning and discussion. Um, I have not heard from everyone on the doodle poll. I think it's important that we do that. So I think we need to hold off on a day and a date. Um, we've had a couple of ideas for the retreat. Chair Griffin, if you would like to speak to a few of those, anyone would like to add anything to that, I'll take some notes for us to have to just keep discussing next month, and then looking at a retreat sometime in March to get started. And if you would like during your retreat to either have a facilitator or you have the work in hand and just need to do the planning at the retreat. So with HRCA, we had a facilitator just because of needing to kind of refocus their efforts around what human relation councils do, but you don't necessarily have to have that. This could just be a work meeting for you. And I was hoping you'd be able to do it in person, but it doesn't look like it these days.
Yeah, some of the things that we talked about is having a couple speakers come speak. Well, I think we mentioned Mr. Joseph Fox. It's a couple other names that I just can't recall right now, but we also talked about Vice Chair. Was the place that you
It
were
was,
telling us about?
yeah,
Right up under the tunnel, the new hotel.
the
Yeah.
element.
Yeah, the
What's the-
element. So we
Yes,
was talking
element.
talking about having it there
As a location,
as a location.
right? And one of the other speakers and we need to get in touch with this person is Mr. Futch, who's with the
But
local
Jeff,
North Carolina
that's right.
cultural and natural resources to kind of talk. We want to start doing that inventory that Dwayne had been asking for. I think there's a lot of information around in different places. The county has some, city has some. And so I think taking some time to really put that together and start a list that you can share with the community would be great. Now, the key, I wanted to ask you the maps for the communities. I don't remember hearing about.
Yeah.
Okay. Those maps are um the history maps of they're the African American history marker maps for
I
all the
got
history markers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay,
Yeah, and they'll be distribute hopefully at the end of January to the beginning of February.
that's perfect.
Yeah, they're very nice. Very
Mhm.
nice.
Awesome.
A lot of stuff that I had no clue about. And I lived in Asheville for 26 years.
And I've been here a little bit longer than you, and I didn't know about them. So
Hmm.
we're still discovering stuff. We hope that reparations will be a part of that. I'd like to, as part of your retreat, bring in the project manager and others, especially if we do it virtual. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it in person just because of the um, positivity rate is going up for Buncombe County. But if we are going to be doing some work and we can spread out enough, maybe pipe her in and talk a little bit about how you can be involved in the reparations project, because that's going to be very pivotal for our community, especially our African American community. So for right now, I'm going to send out the doodle poll again. I'm going to relook at the dates that I set out there. Um, I'm going to send a list. I'll send a separate email about the retreat so that people can kind of focus on that. And then you'll have a separate email about your annual report. And then, and we'll just get started trying to communicate with folks about timeframes that they can be a part of this, and cross our fingers we could possibly do it in person. Um, it just depends on where those positivity rates are. I don't know about you. We've had a few outbreaks in the city. I know other workplaces are having staff, and there's been an overload for testing. So I think we just have to be very conscious of that. And I know
Yeah.
people have health issues as well. So
Mhm. Yeah, Asheville City just closed for tomorrow, and they're
yeah,
doing virtual learning, and so
yeah, I
they
heard
have
that.
a few closings. It's been we're peaking.
Yeah. And I'm hearing that they're closing partly because they have staff that's sick. So they don't have enough staff at work to open the school physically. So they're going to try to do it virtually. So, but anywho, um, the only other thing on your agenda tonight is approving your minutes. We now have a quorum with Miss Shannon, Georgia Shannon. One, two, three, four, five. You have five members of your committee here, and if you want to call for a motion and a second for the minutes, anyone who have any changes or discussion, and then we'll vote. Roll call vote.
Approval for the minutes for November the 10th, 2021. Action needed.
Has everybody had time to look at the minutes?
Yes.
I have. I
We
moved
just,
that we approve those minutes.
all righty, thank you.
A second.
Accepted.
So you've had a motion and a second, and call for discussion, and no discussion. We'll do a roll call vote.
Okay. Roll call vote. Aaron Griffin. Chair Aaron Griffin, yes. Vice Chair Beverly Miller.
Yes.
Georgia Shannon. Stephen Blunt.
Yes.
Michael Hayes.
Yes.
We're gonna have to get Miss Shannon to vote, or you don't have a quorum.
Georgia Shannon. Okay.
Um, I don't know if she can't unmute. Miss Shannon, are you there? Let me see if I can get her on the phone. Hold on just a second, okay? Miss Georgia's on the phone. If you we had there's been a motion and a second, Miss Georgia, to approve the minutes of November 10, 2021. And if you don't have any changes to the minutes, do you approve? Say yeah. Approve. All right, thank you. All righty. So you're good to go. All righty.
I understand that.
Okay, so you're done unless you have other business or you want to talk about any other agenda items. We'll be talking about the retreat next month, and looking for a location. And Chair Griffin and Vice Chair Miller, I'll be setting a meeting with you so we can look at the agenda and make sure we got everything straight for next month.
All right.
Okay.
The only thing that I would ask is for an update from City Council.
Update from City Council for
Yes.
what's the update?
Beverly, really isn't a lot of updates.
Okay.
Pretty much Brenda handled it when she
Okay.
talked about where the reparations squad, where we are on that. So
Okay.
thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
I got you. I'm sorry, Beverly. I didn't know you were asking me. My apologies. All righty.
All right. So our next regular meeting is scheduled for Thursday, February the 10th, 2022, and remains virtual. Check on the city's engagement hub for more directions on how to participate. I will now adjourn the meeting unless it's any objections. Any objections? So adjourned. Bye, y'all.
Have a great day.
Thank you.